In this video, we're going to take a look at some factors that are really going to affect the price of XRP over the coming months and to the end of the year. That includes the case versus the SEC, some other factors involving Bitcoin and Ethereum, as well as Japan. I'm going to tell you about all of them in today's video. But I also wanted to mention something about Solana. They continue to front run, now hitting over $140, and Solana is absolutely going parabolic right now. I have some more information on that you might want to hear. Hey everyone, my name is Randy and welcome back to the Late Night Grind. Right now on this channel, I'm covering Ripple versus the SEC case because it has immense ramifications for the rest of the crypto industry. I also cover cryptocurrency news, investment markets, and personal finance. So if any of those topics interest you, make sure you go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit that bell notification icon, and if you're feeling generous, I'd really appreciate it if you go ahead and smash the thumbs up button. It really helps out with the YouTube algorithm. That and watching this video all the way through. Those are really the two best things you can do to support a YouTube channel. So if you do that, I greatly appreciate it. All right, guys, so with that, let's jump into it. So in this video, we're going to take a look at some potential price targets for XRP. Not just based on some technical analysis, but based on some of the things that are coming down the pike that a lot of people aren't necessarily talking about just yet. But they will be. Number one is, of course, the end to the SEC case. And number two, some institutional money coming into XRP. How is that going to happen? Well, there is a few different factors. But just before I mention it, I want to bring up Solana. Solana is front running right now. It's over $141, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video. But I just wanted to bring that up because if you look back on the charts, Solana at the beginning of January was $1.50. So if Solana goes ahead and hits $150, which it looks like it probably should within the next couple of days, that's a 100x from the beginning of January. So if you had $10,000 in Solana at the beginning of January, you would then be worth $1 million. Even if you had $100 in Solana at the beginning of January, that would now be worth close to $10,000. Now I'm mentioning that because right now it seems to be front running. There's a few different altcoins right now that are really doing well. Even when Bitcoin and Ethereum are kind of trading sideways or kind of pulling back, Solana seems to be bucking that trend. But getting back to the XRP price predictions, if you look at some of the technical analysis like I do, there's a few people that I follow on TradingView as well as YouTube. And from some of their technical analysis, it looks like the $1.30 is a key price target that XRP has to break through. If that's the case, it pretty much looks like it has clear sailing to about $1.50 to $1.60. And if it breaks those resistance levels, $2 should be pretty much imminent. But that's in the short term. There's a lot of people talking about much bigger numbers for XRP than $2. So in order for that to happen, number one, they're going to have to get out of this SEC case as a winner. Whether that be a settlement, a summary judgment, it's got to happen. And just some news that came out recently about that was that John Deaton was reviewing some of the Bill Hinman deposition testimony, and he noticed something. That Bill Hinman had actually sent out copies of this speech, of his now famous Ethereum is not a security speech. And now we know that there was a ton of emails that went out to a lot of people at the SEC, including then Commissioner Jay Clayton. Well, Ripple's attorneys, without actually saying the name, asked if he had actually sent out that speech to any other commissioners, namely Hester Pierce. That was not named. Hinman's response was basically that no, it wouldn't be the best use of my time. So why would he actually want to send it to somebody like Hester Pierce? Well, because Hester Pierce, as we know, is breaking ranks with a lot of the other SEC chairs in viewing digital assets and especially XRP as not a security. And she has a different view on regulation of cryptocurrencies and DeFi than some of the others. And even back then, Bill Hinman was like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to send this to her. I'll just stick with my guys. And so recently, Digital Asset Investor on Twitter and on YouTube, he's been combing through all these old videos and pulling up some unbelievable footage of these SEC commissioners from 2018, even 2017, basically giving their opinions on these digital assets. And basically you can kind of start to put a story together of how they really had absolutely no clarity on what regulations and what rules constituted a security for digital assets. There was absolutely no clarity whatsoever. And so with all this stuff adding up, it's looking like this case is now leaning towards Ripple. And even though the SEC won one of their more recent motions where Ripple will now have to produce all of these Slack documents and essentially instant message documents to the SEC, which is over 1 million messages, they're not going to have a whole lot of relevance to the fair notice defense that Ripple has. Because even if it comes back that Ripple's employees thought that XRP was a security, it really makes no difference because the fair notice defense is all about the SEC not having any clarity and not telling Ripple that there are certain laws in place or that there are certain clarities or expectations in place. Because back then, there weren't. And now we have video after video after video of SEC commissioners admitting as such. Of SEC employees and attorneys and chairs giving their opinions, and some of them saying there really is no clarity, and in fact, the rest of the market participants saying there's absolutely no clarity, which is of course what the fair notice defense is based on. Okay, so now that we got that out of the way, one of the price predictions that is floating around right now has XRP at some obscene numbers. And here's one of the reasons why. Raoul Pal, who is an investment strategist and a former hedge fund manager at Goldman Sachs, he was recently doing an interview with BitBoy Crypto. They were talking about Bitcoin, Ethereum, and a couple of different other things. But he was giving his reason as to why he really follows the stock-to-flow model, which the stock-to-flow model suggests that Bitcoin and the rest of the crypto market has enormous legs in the rest of this market cycle. He actually said he thinks that 200,000 would be a disappointment in this market cycle for Bitcoin, with an upward price point of up to 400,000 if things go well. Well, as we know, if things are coupled to Bitcoin like they are, such as XRP, with the price movements like they are, just that alone could have XRP at around $30 to $60 for the end of this market cycle. Now, Raoul is predicting this for the end of the year. I think this is more of an elongated market cycle, more towards January, February, maybe even March of next year, but we will see. So not only does he subscribe to more of that stock-to-flow model, but he was asked about some of the institutional money that is coming into Bitcoin. And he basically just said, listen, there is a Bitcoin ETF that's on the way. Basically from his back channels and from the people that he still has conversations with that are still in that finance market, he says a Bitcoin ETF is absolutely coming. That's going to be huge and could send the price of Bitcoin skyrocketing on that news alone. But not only that, he said all the big players, they're all hiring crypto teams. Why? Well, because they know that they want to offer this to all of their clients, to all of their very wealthy clients, because all their very wealthy clients want more access to this kind of stuff. And now SBI Holdings in Japan, they recently just announced that they're going to be offering a digital asset fund by the end of the year. Actually, they mentioned December that it would be ready by. This is huge news because in the report, it was mentioned that Bitcoin, Ethereum, and yes, XRP would actually have money funneled into them through SBI Holdings digital investment funds. Now, if you're familiar with what Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, a lot of people say that Grayscale Bitcoin Trust was one of the largest drivers of Bitcoin's price over the winter time because of how much Bitcoin they actually had to purchase because of all the shares they were selling. Now, the same could be said for what could happen in Japan. Japan has an insatiable appetite for crypto. They have incredible regulations, and something like this, now that it's finally getting through, because we could have major upside on the price of pretty much any crypto that this touches. The fact that XRP was named, that's an extremely bullish sign. So with all these factors in play, there's a lot of people thinking that the upside of XRP is definitely in the $60 to $70 range by the end of this year. Now, like I said, all this would have to happen. You would probably have to have not only institutional money coming in from not only Japan, but from the US. You'd also have to get some sort of clarity from the SEC, whether that's a settlement, a summary judgment in Ripple's favor. You'd most likely have to have that, as well as Bitcoin and the rest of this crypto market continuing its bull run for the end of the year. But I want to know what you guys think, so comment down below if any of those factors you think will happen or won't happen. I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts on that. All right, guys, that's going to be it for today. I appreciate you watching this video all the way through. Don't forget to smash the thumbs up button. Really appreciate that. And as always, I'll see you guys on the next video.